Yeah.
Kind of on a opposite note, you were talking about how there's a new game, a platform fighter called F Project or something, or
Right. Rivals?
Rivals 2. Yeah.
Or Nasabi or something.
Yeah.
Nickelodeon something.
And you said the Rivals 2 game has the same like upgrade that Super Smash Bros. Melee had from Super Smash Bros.
64.
Nintendo 64. And I was just thinking that, I don't know how it was the opposite from what we just said, but I think basically I was just thinking about how not a lot of games do such a drastic upgrade. You don't really see that happen a lot, where it's like, you take Nintendo 64 Smash Bros. Compared to the Melee one.
They don't look the same.
It's such a huge thing. They have the same, like, there's things that are the same, foundational mechanics, but then everything else on top of that is just so beyond. And I was just bringing that up, and I don't know, it was the opposite of something you just said, but just, I guess, the variation or, changing something so much rather than making little changes and little, like, most things just make, it's like we want the same game, so it's familiar, but we want it to be just a little bit different.
Yeah, just a twist on the old.
Yeah, and then it just becomes like the same thing over again. Where to take something that was done and then to still have it, like, in the essence is the same there, but remake it so much is neat.
Two things came to mind with that. One is involved in what transformation really is, and the other is just how the imagination and creativity are really the things, like the curiosity and that type of thing, the exploration of the new or what doesn't exist and then manifesting it into existence is like the fundamental thing that makes all of humanity awesome and makes all things come of it. It's like when we are tapping into the imagination and all this other stuff, that's when the cool things come. That's when, Nikola Tesla meditates somewhere and has the idea for the AC generator and revolutionizes the way we do everything. Or Einstein took power naps all the time. Apparently he was notorious for taking like a 2-minute nap because he would dream about things or like respark his energy, and then he would start trying to work off whatever he was dreaming about. And just like all these weird things like imagination and creativity, like the original stories came from somewhere, and when people have an innovative idea, it's not a twist on something too often, but it's more like a completely like triple dimensional flip inversion into something else entirely, where it's like, hey, here's the sphere of possibility, this is a thing, let's just go somewhere else way out there. It's like you're not just twisting it, you're on a different shape now. And the transformation thing, I was thinking of how, like, that's a huge transformation, a turn, from one thing to something almost completely unrecognizable. The recognizable part is the cool part of, like, you can see that there's something there that is familiar in terms of there was a foundation, and it's going to be similar to something like, we're both wearing a shirt. The concept of a shirt is still there. These are nothing alike each other. And it's just a shirt, and you can do that with absolutely everything that you can make two comparisons to. And there's something recognizable, but it's completely unrecognizable. That's when you know something is really transformative. Where if I'm getting better at art and then I learn a little like piece of info, it doesn't really change the way I art. But if I'm getting good at art and then suddenly I'm changing the way I art, I don't even need more info. It's just like things have started to click. Now I've transformed. And that's such a difference in like accumulating a bunch of knowledge about how I should do a thing versus just I'm now doing something differently than it was before. Like that's what transformation means, is like even the content could be the same, the thing, like the act itself and whatever's going on, but because of the way I'm doing it, or even if you look at this at the more subtle level of like, if a person is transformed, it's not that you're not going to encounter people who are still obnoxious, like somebody comes up to you and says something just they're having a bad day and they come into a shop and they're angry about why aren't your croissants as big as they used to or something, like just some random comment. And the transformation you'll only notice when you are no longer, when those ideas come up, those circumstances, and the way that you respond to them is different. The stuff is the same, but you have transformed, and that's when you know transformation has taken place. It's not that the stuff is different, it's that you are different. And then when you take that into making things, like making a game, like making art, when you have transformed and you're different, or you're trying to transform, you're truly creating, being transformative in a, I'm putting something out into the world that's actually transforming and like brand new, then you're going to always end up with something that is a great transformation on from what was before it.